Hi again, my name is Melinda Merkel and I am the principal here at Journeys. I'm going to take you through a tour to show you some of the things that have been destroyed in the flood. I'll be completely honest, a lot of it has now been kind of cleaned and stuff, so things are looking a little bit different. It's also very loud, so I might have to talk a little bit louder as we go through. There's a lot of dehumidifiers throughout the building and stuff, but come along with me and I'll show you what's there to fix. So this is going into our chapel area. Like I said, we have a lot of fans around and dehumidifiers. We had water that came rushing through this window. This window is old. And it destroyed all of this carpet that's now being ripped up. This whole roof needs to be redone because, like I said, water was coming through this direction. Then we'll come down this way, and this goes down into our cafeteria. This whole area got flooded, so much so that it pushed the door, and there's a huge hole in here now, so this is at least keeping the little critters out for the time being, but you can imagine, like, we're up, we're on like a raised surface at the moment. This goes into a courtyard that we have, so the fact that water was flooding in this way and then went down into our kitchen. In our kitchen, a lot has been removed at this point, but water came through the ceiling here, as you can see. So this is probably a good ankle deep. We're going to need a new washer and dryers, as well as other things. You can even see, like, I mean, it even looks, it's hard to tell at this moment. Like I said, we've had a lot of wonderful cleaning come through, but you can kind of see where the water is coming. This is our whole library at the moment. All of our books and things have been moved into our cafeteria. I'll take you down this way. Like I said, it's very loud, so I hope that you can hear this. But as we go down this direction, you'll see black kind of marked off areas, and that's where asbestos currently is. So all of the flooring, all of the carpet, that's been completely ripped up. And we, like I said, we were able to move a lot of the books out this direction. But this whole area into the bathrooms is going to need to be redone. So all of this flooring had to be ripped up. We've got asbestos in here that'll need to be abated. All the way down into here, again, we have asbestos. All this had to be ripped up. This is our girls' bathroom, so this won't be functional. Goes down into our boys' bathroom, so that goes into there. And then we have multiple, like, storage rooms in this area, and that was also all destroyed. This is just a hallway, and then this is our library. So everything has been removed, but you can see that there are patches of asbestos, so none of this can be saved. And it's like, as I walk through, I think of, again, the safety of our children. I'm going to come out this way. But like down this hallway, this is one of the safest places we have for a tornado. So we have a lot of our students up and down in here and into our library. So if we have students in this building, we currently do not have a safe space for a good half of them to go. Because our younger kids and our middle school typically comes down to this area. We're going to walk down the hallway that leads into high school. And like I said, a lot of it has been cleaned. This whole flooring was also ripped up. This goes down over into our elevator. So we've had Servpro come through, and they've done an incredible job at cleaning up this space. This definitely does not look like how it once was a couple days ago. So we are very grateful for that. Luckily, we'll be able to salvage this tile down the high school, which makes our timeline for getting students back into the building a little bit sooner. But we still have a lot of devastation into these areas. So this was all, whew, I wish you could smell this. It's like sewage fish. it's quite potent, which obviously is another sensory need. I mean, for anybody, nobody wants to smell that, but more reason to really have this space completely clean for our students. This was all brand new flooring last year. We had redone this classroom last summer, so all of the I don't know what you call that, it's not tiling, but all of that board had to be ripped up until this point. This all needed to be ripped up as well. It's an office space. And we hold a lot of meetings in this room. This is called our fish room. As you can see, there's wonderful murals on the walls, but we hold a lot of meetings, IP meetings, just coming and chatting with students in here. And we'll need new flooring in here and baseboard. So this part hasn't been yet cleaned, so this is going down into our high school hallway. From what we know so far, like I said, we should be able to keep this flooring. There is the potential, though, that we might have to rip it up depending on asbestos. We're not quite sure yet. But as you can see from the glare that the sewage had come through, and it's definitely still on the ground. It's at least dry, but yeah, it's pretty gross. So this is one of our high school classrooms. You can just see a lot of the dirt, the grime, the grossness. Again, if only I could bottle up this smell. I'd say majority of the damage ended up being down in these further rooms. This is where we lost a lot of electronics. So laptops, Chromebooks, that kind of stuff. We had a lot of teachers in this area that had, almost finished their room, and they had furniture down on the ground. They had desks ready with chairs. We talk about a lot of our students have sensory needs, so we have different things all over the place, and a lot of that had to be thrown out. Again, you can see it still on the floor. And a lot of things have already been tossed. I know this teacher specifically was at about maybe 2,000 worth of damage, and that's just out of their own pocket. Our teachers, they put a lot of time and effort and love into these classrooms, and it's just really sad to see that it's all been washed away. So anything that was on the ground that was porous, that had been hit by water, had to be completely thrown out. We couldn't just dry it because there was the sewage that ended up coming up with it. So a lot of furniture, a lot of our like safe spaces or calm spaces, or like reset spaces, depending on what a teacher calls it, that is all gone. Up here, we had to rip out all of the flooring that was in this direction, so that is gone. Truly, there's not much left in these spaces because of what needed to be thrown out. And then we'll head upstairs. We had some roof damage I talked about a little bit in the beginning that had occurred, and it happened on a couple different other parts of the building. So then because of the damage from the roof, it ended up leaking in through some of the tiles, leaving us with a mess even on the upper levels. So there's dehumidifiers probably in almost every room. This space in here, in our yellow room, this probably got hit the hardest. All of those ceiling tiles are gone, as you can see, but the water was just running down out of the window. So again, I talk about, what's the safest for our students, how can we bring them into the building and I can look at parents and say they're going to be okay, and I don't feel safe doing that. I don't have a safe place for them to go if there's a tornado. I don't even have all of the sensory things that they need. I don't have any stability for them when it comes to a timeliness of their day, because we might have to stick them all in a random room that they're not used to. They know all of our rooms by color, by name, by where they're supposed to go. And so we can't just start a school day virtually and then throw them into the rest of the school day when it comes to October and everything is, magically done and fixed. Our students need structure, and with all of the damage, it's going to take time.